Good morning. I think this is working. It's Thanksgiving Eve, Halloween Eve, and I'm down in South Albert Park, specifically in front of the Chapters and the other stores that are here. Let me get this pointed in the right direction. There you go. There's the Chapters, bookstores. Big fan of bookstores. And of course, it has a Starbucks attached to it. But I'm going to walk over here behind the Southland Mall and out into the residential area. A couple other stores here. There's the Indigo. I still call it Chapters, but I guess technically it's Indigo. Fitness, Lady and Baby, Dollar Tree, Montana's Cookhouse Saloon, and an Applebee's. One of these is closed now, I think. And I hope the streaming goes well today. There was something odd about this when it started up, so I'm assuming I'm streaming, so please say hello if you're there and confirm that for me. Ooh, I made one my hat. After all, it's quite windy. Well, there's music coming from Applebee's, so it's clearly still functioning. I thought one of them closed. Maybe it was Montana's. Okay, so actually, maybe I'll walk over here because that's the back of the Southland Mall. I've walked by there before, but I haven't really gone this way, and it looks like I can go straight into the neighborhood over here. It's just above freezing. Sun's out, so it's not too bad. I am wearing my coat, which will probably be a mistake later, but feels good right now. Gloves. Let me see here. I've never really walked back here to see how this works. Okay, well that just goes to the loading zone. But if I go across the street, there's a sidewalk, and then I can be in the residential area here. So that's what I'll do. Oh, actually, there's a sidewalk on this side, so we'll start here. All right, South Albert Park. I have never walked back here, so what excitement. We're right on the edge of town down here, so at some point I will probably emerge onto the edge of town. South End. Let's see, do I have any exciting writing news today? Well, Shapers of Worlds Volume 2, which comes out on Tuesday, although you can already order the paperback on Amazon.com. Shh, don't tell anyone. This has showed up as a hot new release on Amazon.ca, the number 3 position on hot new releases in science fiction fantasy short stories, or science fiction short stories. Well, that's cool. Who's there? Imran, hello. I'm doing well. I hope you are too. It's not a bad morning here in Regina. It rained all night, or part of the night anyway. Oh, I've never walked down here and seen these apartment buildings, so this is all new, or condos, whichever they are. Trying to get my gimbal to decide to quit doing weird things. Turned much colder though from yesterday. It was double digits and now we're down. It's frosting. It'll be frosting every night now, and pretty much it looks like we're going to get to Remembrance Day on the 11th without snow, which is kind of one of the 50-50 things. About half the time we have snow on November 11th, and about half the time we don't. And it looks like this year we won't, which is always nicer for the outdoor Remembrance Day ceremonies at the Cenotaph downtown. That's good. Happy to hear my viewers are doing well. My viewer, in this case, I'm pretty sure you're the only one at the moment. Could be wrong. You never know when you're walking. I see comments, and sometimes it'll seem like nobody's walking, and I'll get back and find out there were 5 or 6 people who were watching at least some of it, so you just never know. Is that Christmas stuff starting already over there? Or do they just like deer? It looks very Christmassy to me. Seems pushing it a bit. tomorrow's Halloween. I think I'll try to go out and do a trick-or-treat walk tomorrow night. Walk around while the kids are out trick-or-treating. It's just above freezing. It was 0 when I started out. It might be a degree above that now. So in the shade, I certainly feel it as chilly. In the sun, not so much. I didn't put my hat on because I know from experience that my head will soon be hot. It's not too windy. There's a bit of a breeze, so the wind chill is probably -3 or 4 at this point. Celsius, of course. Not Fahrenheit. I'd definitely be wearing a hat at -3 or 4 Fahrenheit. And I might put it on yet here this morning. We'll see if I've walked a bit. So I think I did sort of wander down in this neighborhood from up there weeks ago, months ago now, probably. It's the last time I walked down here. So this is pretty new. Most of the leaves are gone now. Those nice hedges are still showing color though, which is nice. Maybe I will put my hat on. The breeze is a little nippy, so excuse the slight discombobulation of the image. There we go. There's a park here. I always like parks. Over here. There should be a name for it somewhere. Probably see as I get on the next corner. And the Trans-Canada Highway is just the other side of those trees. We'll go into the park. It's always more interesting than not going into the park. See where the path goes. Probably not much of anywhere. Oh, there's a small airplane over there. I can barely see it in the sun. Let's see, does this path go around the park? Let's find out. Right on the edge of town here now. Maybe it circumnavigates the park. No. Or does it just end? No, it goes around. No, there's somebody on it over there, so clearly that's where it goes. So we'll just follow the path. Follow the yellow brick road. So now we're behind the houses we were in front of moments ago. Not quite a white picket fence, but it's a white fence. I don't think that's here. I don't know why it would be blurry. Looks fine on my screen. Looks fine on the screen. Nothing I could do anyway. It is what it is. But certainly there's nothing. Looks perfectly sharp here, so it's not on my end. You never know. Hopefully it records. I mean, the last 2 days I've resolution as opposed to the 1080. Because it didn't save the way it's supposed to at the end of streaming. the phone, and for 2 days now it's failed to do that, even though by restarting, and that has worked itself out. We'll be hide and seek, I think. With the cars going by there. Dealerships over there, but otherwise it's just... The wind is quite sharp here. Sure that it focused, so maybe it was out of focus for some reason. Well, I have never walked. How exciting is that? A scenic chain link fence, which has unstable internet connection again. This is where the path. Could keep walking down there. Bizarre, because let's keep following the fence. Oof. Not too bad. Action I'm worried about now. Oh, now we're out of fence, and there's the Trans-Canada going by. Now I'm really in the car if I wanted to. I'm taking my hat off again because I'm getting too warm. That after the rain last night. There's the prairie in all its glory. I'd like to point out, none of these trees are natural. They're all planted by somebody, because that's the real landscape. Long grass prairie, but there's very little of that left. It's all been cultivated. The flatness and the treelessness are the original prairie landscape for sure. Meanwhile, there's houses right over here. Oh, it's quite muddy here. So my plan is to keep going this way until I can't, and then walk back through the streets. Now that I'm here, there doesn't seem to be any way to over there for a while, so I'm kind of stuck. But it's interesting, I hope. I might not have done it had I thought about to look into people's backyards. You know, if that's the sort of thing. Small one. Again, there's various businesses just the other side of the Trans-Canada there. That's an RV place, I think. The Dutch, they moved from last year, so I have an extra I guess that's where we'll go. They deliver is the main thing. I'll have this pap to and stable internet again. Quite chill. I took my hat off and more backyard views, more mud. And I'll stick to the grass over here a little bit more. It's slippery, so I gotta be careful. Oof, don't want to take a tumble. Made the joke for a while, but it's a good one. I don't stream this on Tumblr, so I don't want to tumble. And it is on Facebook, but not on Faceplant. Is that a good joke? I think that's a good joke. Okay. I'll stay up here, where it's actually grass here, less slippery than the way the path kind of really goes, which is that side of the trees. There's a pretty big one. A lot of architectural interest, though. All the windows are the same. Kind of dull. Well, it's got a bunch of gym equipment at the top. Maybe it's a gym, maybe it's not a house. It must be a business. Those kind of windows and all the gym equipment up on top. Must be a business. All right, what happens here? We either stay out or we go down in there. Well, that looks overgrown and not very inviting, so let's stay in the sunshine over here. You can keep looking at the Trans-Canada there. At some point there'll be a way back in because there's car tracks here, so clearly I have not trapped myself as badly as I did a few months ago now, when I went out into Arcola East for the first time and managed to get myself stuck in the weeds alongside the ring road. New Van Drive, next right. We won't make it that far, I don't think. Just a blank wall over here now. I saw some people go around. Well, there's actually paved road up here, so that's where we will reconnect. I do like to walk along the edge of the prairie sometimes. I grew up out in the prairie, 4 miles outside of Weyburn, in North Weyburn, which was former Commonwealth Air Training Command Base. That's a cat. Hope she doesn't go on the Trans-Canada. She's really shoe smart for that. It's like she's stalking something. It's got a collar, a tag. Not interested in me, except for here to avoid the mud. If you were driving to Moose Jaw, you'd keep going. About 45 minutes that way, 40 minutes. Almost back to pavement. Oh, this ground is way rougher than it looks. I stepped in 2 or 3 holes. You can see how muddy it is there. So that's why I'm staying on the grass. Storage units over there. I'll check my time and maybe I will make it all the way to the Louvain. We'll see. Or it wouldn't actually be the Louvain, it'd be... What would that road be? Not sure what it's called. This is McTavish. So, civilization again, so to speak. However, how long have I been out? Only 21 minutes, so we'll carry on down the road here. Should really walk on the side facing traffic, so I'll go over here. Spruce trees there soaking up the sound from the Trans-Canada. You'd still get a lot of traffic noise sitting in your backyards there. I suppose it's just kind of white noise. It's not terribly, not like there's a lot of honking going on or anything like that. A whole lot of honking going on. So tomorrow being Halloween, we watched, for the first time in my life, I watched Rocky Horror Picture Show last night. Probably the only time in my life I'll need to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. Did I hate it? No. But I know it's a cult classic, but emphasis on the cult. Tim Curry does an amazing job as Frankenfurter, though, that's for sure. Very young Barry Bostwick, very young Susan Sarandon. Would have come out when I was about 16. And of course, it was rated R. There was no way I was going to go see it in theaters. I think the first time I was really aware of it, I was at university in Arkansas, and we had gone to another movie and it was coming and people were talking about it, you know, and of course you had the whole cult thing of we'll go up Queen Street here, you know, throwing toast at the screen and rice and all that stuff that they do. All right, this is kind of turning the corner, I think. I could go one more street over. And maybe I will. If I go up here, I can take a path through some condos. That will take me over to Pasco, I guess. I have a friend, my very good friend, lives in this area, Robertson. So I've been down here many times. But if you're watching, Rob, don't worry. I won't point out your house. Interesting kind of Spanish look to that one. And of course, I've clipped the microphone to my coat, so I can't even unzip my coat easily. I'd have to adjust the mic, which would be difficult. I remember when this house was built. Bit of a park over there too. Quite a large one actually. Chelsea Drive. think it's this next one or the one after. This one would still take me. It's Brandy Lane. This one would take me where I want to go, so let's take a walk. The big building at the end is a retirement residence, varying levels of care. We actually looked at it for Margaret Ann's mom at one point, but she never made it there. Quite nice though. So there's lots of little condos back in here. More over there. We're on the garage side of these ones. There's always puddles here. I remember from driving around here when I used to bring Alice to her voice lessons was when I came to most often, because Rob teaches voice, and that's who Alice took from. And he was also her director for a lot of things that do it with Class Young People's Theatre. He's directed me in a ton of shows, accompanied me. He's an amazing piano player, accompanist. So anyway, so I have driven down here quite a bit with her, getting her to voice lessons. Okay, well, we're kind of at the halfway point. So will I go over to Pasqua or turn sooner? I'll just be walking down the road if I go up there. So maybe I won't go quite that far. There's Pasqua. Should take us up there. So there's more condos over there. But we will go back down to Queen, I think, and start back. So that's our turnaround point. Now headed back to the car. So far I only had a hello from one person on YouTube, so if anybody else is there, say hi. Apartment buildings here. Don't want to walk back along Gordon, that's too busy, but I think Jubilee comes through here somewhere and it goes most of the way back. Without getting sidetracked by all the crescents along the way. Now, but which way will it be? Oh, great. That puddle was deeper than I thought, and I just got my feet wet. I think Groom carries on for quite a ways. Because it's an avenue, so it should carry through a considerable distance. So let's go, yeah, we'll go this way, down Groom. Very wide. I always try to guess from the houses, probably 60s, 70s, I would say. This neighborhood originally. Too modern to be 50s. Has that Brady Bunch look, so. A lot of them have a kind of a Spanish touch to them. Something the developer obviously must have offered, or people just decided they liked it. A bit of a fad at the time, maybe. I haven't seen a lot of Halloween decorations along here. This is McTavish, which was where I found pavement again, walking the other way. We'll stick to Groom. So right down there, again, it's the edge of town where I was walking on the way as I came this way. Up there is Gordon Road, the cars going by. Hope the feed's still working. Last couple of days I've had weird problems, so I'm a little paranoid at the moment about whether it will work smoothly or not. And there was some bad internet connectivity at one point. It's always possible the feed went down. I didn't get a message, but it's possible the feed went down. So again, if you're there, say hi, just to reassure me that I am not talking into the void. Stare into the void, and sometimes the void stares back. Is that Nietzsche? Something like that. Somebody like that. Although I think I mostly know it from Doctor Who. Oh, no, somebody's there. Well, that's good. Feed's still up then. And Victoria. Hi, Madeline. Thank you. I enjoyed them too. But I do wish I'd not attached the microphone to the zipper of my coat so I could now unzip it because I'm getting quite warm. We're walking on Groom Avenue, heading east. Although the sun could be a bit confusing because it's right there, but this time of year it's quite far south. And of course it's getting close to noon, but as you can tell, the sun does not reach anywhere near the zenith this time of year. Roger's Road. Oh, Roger, speaking of Roger. Roger, look, it's your road. I do that a lot, create a disturbance in the force. Those mitochondrians, or whatever they call them. Oh, looks like he's leaving. So I won't walk behind him. Okay, well, that tells me both feeds are working, so excellent. Now, as long as it saves properly when I reach the end, so I can put the high def version up later like I normally do. I don't like putting up just the 720 version. I could stream it in high def on YouTube, but Facebook won't let you. So in order to stream on both, I have to stream at the lower resolution. Also helps with bandwidth, of course. House for sale, if you're looking. Now, there's another park. It's not the same one I was in before. Never did see a name for that one, although it must have one. This one is edge of town, like the other one did. Interesting path in it of any sort either. This is Arlington Park. I have a friend who used to live in Arlington, Texas. I visited him down there. I don't know if he's still there or not. This is Arlington Street. My roommate from college lived in Arlington. I visited him a couple of times down there. All right. Groom ends, but we're getting pretty close to the Southland Mall, which is where the car is, more or less in front of Chapters. How long have I been here? Oh, I seem to walk back faster than I walked. Well, I'm not there yet, but it's almost, hasn't even reached 40 minutes yet. That's all right. I'll stretch it out a little bit. Guess I'll go to the left. Here on Leonard, it's the next street. Another one with a bit of a Spanish influence to it in that curved archway there. Oh yeah, we are at the Cornwall Center. No, we're not. We are at the Southland Mall because there it is. We'll go up here and walk around the front of the Southland Mall. So how exciting is that? Can I jaywalk here? I can and will. Oh, I could also take the alley. Let's take the alley. It looks more interesting. At least for a little ways. That's the poodles. Now, I basically came in here kind of down at the end of the alley, I think. So, probably won't go all that way. That's where I started. It looks a lot like my grandmother's, mother-in-law's old car. A little bigger, I think. Same color. Same manufacturer. Could still be running somewhere. We sold it, so it could still be somewhere around here. All right, we'll go this way. Southland Mall, dead ahead. Circumnavigate it, go around to the left, walk all the way around it to get back to the car. That'll stretch this out a little bit more. So I was down there when I started, across the street down there at the very beginning. So if you're going into the movie theater, you go in here. It's also an entrance to the mall, but that's what the entrance to the movie theaters is. You can see Cineplex Cinemas. They're pretty small ones now, and they seem old-fashioned because we have a couple of brand new ones, or newer ones, with all the, reclining seats and all that stuff. Reserved seating, even. These are your more typical mall shopping center kind of movie theaters. The less interesting side of the mall. Back doors for shops. There's also a library in there. Branch of the library. So I've been at a few times for this and that. Readings and programming and stuff like that. Was it here? I think it was here. It was one of the 3 years I did the Sage Hill Teen Writing Experience, I think was here. In fact, I'm sure of it. Pretty sure of it. One was here, one was out at Prince of Wales at the Southeast Leisure Center, I guess. And then the other one was up in the Northwest. I think those are the 3 places where I and my teenage wannabe writers of that year hung out. It's long enough now, they're all quite grown up, which is funny considering I'm not a year older. I haven't changed a bit. Safeway. I'll walk along the front here, probably freaking people out. Wine store over there, or liquor store I should say. It does have wine, has other things too. Sobeys. Kind of funny, it's a Sobeys considering this is a Safeway, but Safeway doesn't have a line of liquor stores. This is the Safeway entrance, but we aren't going in. This would be the parking lot. How exciting is that? Rows of carts. Not that you can have them, they're there to keep people from, I don't remember, something, when they were controlling entrance, maybe they still are, I don't know. There's a bunch of them parked in front of our Safeway 13th too. Paratransit bus, loading somebody. There's a bank over there as well. This is one of the main mall entrances here. M&M Food Market. Hearing, dental. Get your teeth and your ears fixed at the same time. Steakhouse over there that I've actually never been in. Seems to me new, but it's not really now. It's been there for years, a few years. Another one of the main mall entrances. When they redid it, a lot of these now have outdoor entrances as well as mall entrances. Pet Value, pet store obviously. I walked over there quite a bit, not nearly as much on this side of Gordon Road. Atmosphere, which is sort of an outdoorsy store. Mark's Work Warehouse. Chopped, is that what it's called? Just Chopped, not Chopped. Chopped is that Food Network show. Not a very friendly looking fence, is it? Then we have a big Canadian Tire here, which is where most people seem to be headed this morning. Get gardening supplies cheap right now. Here's their main entrance. And you've got the car area down here. Parts and Service, Auto Center, Canada's Garage. So when Canada needs a tune-up, you park the whole country in a Canadian Tire. It's a tight fit. Caution, speed bump. More garden stuff over there. And there's our Indigo, which means we're almost to the car. Yay! Other side of the auto center. We're the second largest country on this planet Earth, and if Russia keeps on shrinking, someday we'll be first, as long as we keep Quebec. Now you have to say as long as we keep Alberta, too. That's an Arrogant Worm song, by the way, in case you're wondering, which you may or may not have been. And my car is right over here. So that's where we will call it quits. So, started with the view of Indigo, I will end with a view of Indigo. And thanks for walking with me. Tomorrow night, I think, trick or treat. Bye for now.